Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh. His only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christus, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shah. So gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders over all of Israel. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwathium who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from the GMS Orlando camp, coming at you another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification, another daily edification. Lord's willing, this be edifying. This is for educational purposes only. I do not own the copyright to these videos. This is not for monetary gain. This is for educational purposes only. So Lord willing, this be edifying. And this is, the tensions is growing amongst these nations.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Dina Calmetta here, and for today's news, I'd like to bring you some updates in regards to some events that have occurred during the week. So this broadcast may be a review for some people, but I still feel it's very important to share with you, just in case you have not heard these headlines. And I'd like to take you to this first report in regards to the U.S. and Russia. The Russian president has called for an immediate, unconditional renewal of the last nuclear arms treaty between Moscow and Washington, highlighting that his own country has developed new strategic weapons that the United States does not have. The Russian president stated that it would be extremely sad if the treaty ceased to exist altogether and were not replaced by another fundamental document of this kind. He touted the success of the treaty in its 2010 and 1991 predecessors in preventing an all-out arms race between the two top nuclear powers, but also took the opportunity to claim that the Russian arsenal has in some ways surpassed that of the U.S., something that he is willing to address in a new agreement. He went on to state that it is clear that we have new weapon systems that the American side does not have, at least not yet, but
And as the scriptures say in Ezekiel 38, I'm going to read it. This is Ezekiel 38 and 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, which is the Lord is turning them back to their old Soviet Union war mentality. And I will bring thee forth and all thy armies, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with buckler and shield, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia is going to be a guard to the other nations. That's why Russia is just like North America, man. And I did a video a couple months ago. Russia have more missiles than any other country, man. Okay?
but we do not refuse to discuss this side of the issue. I have a proposal, namely, to extend the existing treaty with any conditions for at least a year. in order to be able to conduct meaningful negotiations on all problems that are governed by agreements of this kind, so as not to leave our countries and all states of the world that are interested in maintaining strategic stability without a fundamental document, such as a New START. But shortly afterward, President Trump's own National Security Council released a statement calling on President Putin's proposal a non-starter because it did not include freezing nuclear warheads. The security advisor stated that the U.S. is serious about arms control that will keep the entire world safe, and we hope that Russia will reevaluate its position before a costly arms race ensues. But the Russian deputy foreign minister quickly dismissed this remark, saying that the U.S. proposal for a nuclear freeze was unacceptable. And as of Thursday, there appeared to be no progress in the negotiations. In the meantime, over in China, earlier this week, the Chinese president told his troops to focus their minds and energy on preparing for war.
Now you see that? To focus all their energy and to prepare for war, man. Where is that mentioned in the scriptures? That's in Joel. Let's read it. This is Joel 3. Now hold on. Because I got to play this again. If you didn't hear it.
China. Earlier this week, the Chinese president told his troops to focus their minds and energy on preparing for war.
You see that? To focus their energy, their minds and energy to prepare for war, man. That's the words of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. You just heard it. This is Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. What is this? The Lord is saying, focus all your mind and energy towards creating ICBMs, man. That's it. Focus everything that you got on creating intercontinental ballistic missiles.
He called on his forces to maintain a state of high alert and urged them to be absolutely loyal, absolutely pure, and absolutely reliable. It goes on further to report that on Monday, the White House informed Congress that it would move ahead with a deal to sell 3 advanced weapon systems to Taiwan. But China's foreign ministry spokesman called on the U.S. to immediately cancel any arms sales to Taiwan and to cut military ties as well. The Chinese foreign minister spokesman stated that by selling arms to Taiwan, it seriously interfered in China's internal affairs and seriously harmed China's sovereignty and security interests. Because
China and Taiwan going back and forth right now, man. Hey, and what's crazy is North America has nothing to do with these nations, man. Okay, they always butting in everything, man. That's why I say in Joel, in Salakia, in Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5, it says, yeah, also because he transgressed about wine, which is his philosophies, his policies, his legislation, his democracy, right? His draconian laws. It said, because he transgressed about wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. They don't stay at home. They get into everybody else's business, man. Who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Verse 8 say, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Okay? So, because you button your nose into everybody else's business, which you shouldn't, hey, these nations are gonna, that's why they separate, man. That's what Obadiah 1 and 7 is about. That's what Daniel chapter 2 verse 43 is about, man. Okay? They shall mingle themselves to seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, because they go into all these nations because they are not keeping at home, man.
firmly opposes this and called on the U.S. to fully recognize the very damaging nature of its arms sale to Taiwan, and also stated that China will make a legitimate and necessary reaction in the light of the development of the situation. Finally, it reports that Secretary of State Mike Pompeo vowed to live up to agreements such as weapon sales to Taiwan and reiterated the willingness of their military to ensure the freedom of navigation in and around Taiwan, even if they drew anger from China. He said these are the obligations that the U.S. should undertake and is undertaking. We recognize that this is a point of conflict with the Chinese Communist Party, and we don't.
See, this is all tension, man. This is tensions with all these nations on every side, man. China's Xi Jinping tells troops to focus their mind to prepare for war, man. This is what the Lord's saying. Proverbs 21:1, right? The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will, man. This is the Lord preparing the minds of these kings for World War III, man. To be fought with what? Intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Don't want that. We want peace. But we are going to make sure that we live up to all of the obligations we have to Taiwan. So certainly some serious tensions between Beijing, the U.S., and Taiwan. And we shall wait to see what happens. But I would like to move on and talk about another very hot issue. Apparently, Greece and Cyprus want the EU to stop provocative Turkey amid the Eastern Mediterranean row. The Greek Prime Minister stressed on Thursday that Turkey remains consistent in its provocative and aggressive behavior. In this context, the EU must show the same consistency in the implementation of the decisions it has already taken, so that Turkey's behavior has the appropriate consequences. The French Foreign Minister stated on Thursday that unless Turkey shows respect for the integrity of Greece and Cyprus, then the European Council in December will consider initiating sanctions.
See this? Greece and Cyprus wants EU to stop provocative Turkey, man. This is tensions everywhere, on all sides. And it's mainly who? The Job 9:24s, man. These are Idumeans. Okay? These nations, hey, man, they have always been separated, man. What did the Lord say? A house divided, man. This is Isaiah chapter 19 in verse 2. It reads, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor." This is the EU and NATO we talking about. Everyone against his brother, right? Idumean on Idumean, and everyone against his neighbor, all the allies. City against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. This is the Lord destroying the counsel of these neighboring cities, these kingdoms, these mountains, and these small hills, man. This is the tension that's going on. And who's doing it? Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man. Turkey and India going at it. And right now they got these Armenia and this other little country got a fight going on against supposedly the Christians and the Muslims, man. And that's supposed to be Israel funding the Christians and Turkey funding the Muslims, man.
Stating that we really wish that Turkey clarifies its position and returns to a spirit of dialogue. The prevailing climate indicates that Turkey has proven unreliable. Even certain countries that believe Turkey would do what it said has been contradicted by developments in recent days. Earlier this week, Turkey sent its seismic survey ship, which has been recalled last month, back into the waters of Eastern Mediterranean. The move was criticized by several EU members as a blow to negotiation efforts. And finally, it reports that the Turkish president went even further this week, saying that Turkey will give Greece the answer it deserves over the Eastern Mediterranean dispute. So a very serious situation over in the Mediterranean. And as always, I will continue to bring you updates. But let's move on and talk about Israel next.
You see that tension? Hey, the Turkish president said he will give Greece what they looking for, man. This is tension, man. This where we at, man. The Lord is moving these chess pieces on this chessboard strategically, man. This is the separation of EU, NATO, and the harlot, man.
Times of Israel is reporting that apparently Palestinians in the Gaza Strip fired a rocket into Israel on Friday evening.
But that's supposed to be the Holy Land right now, though. Those supposed to be the peoples in the land. But the Lord said when you read Isaiah 2:1 and Micah 4, that it will be no war, man. Nations shall learn war no more. They shall beat their swords in the plowshares and their pruning hooks and their spears in the pruning hooks, man. So he's like it said in Joel 3:10, it's gonna be reversed, man. There will be no more war. And they tell you in Ezekiel 39, starting at verse 8, that the weapons of war would be burnt up for 7 years, man. So if that was the Holy Land, why are they fighting over the land, man? Okay, the Palestinians and Israelis, man. What they fighting over the land for? That's what to be the Holy Land. And where King David at? And where the angels that's at all four gates on the east, west, north, and south, man?
Projectile apparently exploded in an open field with
and they over there fighting over land that ain't even theirs, man.
No reports of damages or injuries, but rocket sirens were set off in southern Israel, just north of the Gaza Strip, sending thousands in the vicinity to bomb shelters for the second time this month. It was the first rocket attack since October 5th, when another single rocket was fired without causing casualties or damage. In response, Israeli aircraft struck a Hamas military installation in the southern Gaza Strip in retaliation. In the meantime,
now you see that? War in the Holy Land, man. Let's get this. And this was as of October the 14th, 2020, the year of prophecy.
Russian deploys 80,000 soldiers, 250 tanks and 500 armored to South Caucasus. This week, Russia and 6 other countries are carrying out a large-scale military exercise called Caucasus 2020. This exercise will take place predominantly in Russia's southern military district, a region that stretches from Russian-occupied Crimea in the west to the Caspian Sea in the east and the volatile North Caucasus in the middle. Certain parts of the exercise will take place outside Russia's borders as well.
Your support is critical.
Hey, Salaki, these devils don't put
Make
an
sure you have
infomercial in
everything
here.
you need to cast your vote
Salaki
for
for
our
that.
president.
There wasn't no infomercial in here.
Approximately 80,000 soldiers will participate in the exercise. The vast majority of these troops are from Russia, but soldiers from Armenia, soldiers from Belarus, soldiers from China, soldiers from Iran, soldiers from Myanmar, and soldiers from Pakistan will also participate. These military drills will also involve 250 tanks, almost 500 armored personnel carriers, around 200 pieces of artillery, and ships from both the Russian and Iranian navies. Russia is a member of the Organization for Security Cooperation in Europe. Normally, under the organization's guidelines, any military exercise exceeding 13,000 troops requires international observers from the OSCE. However, the Kremlin cleverly declared that the number of frontline soldiers participating
Can
in
you
the
imagine 200
exercise
million
at any
missiles,
one time
man?
will not exceed the 13,000 troop limit, so no OSCE observers will be present. The scope of the Campcast 2020 is wide. There will be live fire exercises with tanks and artillery. Paratrooper drops and amphibious landings will take place. There will be drills in electronic and drone warfare. Naval maneuvers will take place in the Black Sea and the Caspian.
And you saw them paratroopers dropping in just like in the movie Red Dawn, man. Okay? Hey, it's gonna be real, man. We can only imagine, man.
It is no
But when you think about World War I and World War II, hey, you know how it was, man, when you look at the history, man. And look, okay, because I was at the plantation Saturday, and the manager was like, man, you see what's going on over there in the Caucasus Wars? So I had to pull it up, man. And I told him, I said, listen, yeah, that's over there in Georgia, Russia, man. Look what's going on, man. Look what's going on, man. This is tension amongst the nations, man. Right over there in the home of, right over there in the home of the Idumeans, man.
secret that Russia views the South Caucasus as being in its natural sphere of influence. Although much of the military exercise is taking place in the North Caucasus, Russia is actually sending a message to the South Caucasus.
Oh man, I can't believe they put another infomercial in here.
Hey phone,
Salakia.
connect to Wi-Fi.
Salakia.
Caucasus, especially Azerbaijan and Georgia. After Russia was caught resupplying Armenia with weapons over the summer, when skirmishes broke out along the Azerbaijani-Armenian border, Baku began to take a tougher approach against Moscow. In fact, Azerbaijan was invited to participate in Kavkaz 2020 but declined. Azerbaijan also recently denied access to its airspace for Russian Air Force planes returning from Syria. This sort of rejection is something the Kremlin is not used to in its dealings with Azerbaijan. There are two aspects of Kavkaz 2020 that should alarm Azerbaijan. Firstly, part of the exercise itself will take place outside Russia's borders, in Armenia and with Armenian troops. About 1,500 Russian and Armenian troops will exercise together not far from the border with Azerbaijan.
And the article I had, it said Armenia and Azerbaijan blames each other for the truce violation, man. So this is tension, man. These are little small wars, man.
Coming on the heels of the fighting over the summer and the recent frostiness in Moscow-Baku relations, a military drill like this will raise eyebrows in Azerbaijan. Another aspect of the exercise that will likely ring alarm bells in Azerbaijan is the focus on the Caspian Sea. Russian Marines are rehearsing an amphibious assault on this.
This is Jeremiah 50:9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she be taken. Their arrows shall be of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. And the arrows is what, man? These intercontinental ballistic missiles. Those are what? The weapons of Yahweh B'Hashim Habashah, man. As it say right here, Jeremiah 50:25. The Lord, Yahweh B'Hashim Habashah, have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord, Yahweh B'Hashim Habashah, power of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans. They preparing for war, man. And ultimately, it's going to come down on who? Babylon the Great, man.
Shores of the Caspian just north of the border with Azerbaijan. China is sending troops to Russia's Astrakhan region on the shores of the Caspian as part of the exercise.
And Babylon ain't like that, man. Babylon didn't like the fact that China and Russia doing drills together, man. Here come another infomercial. Salakia. I should have watched the whole video and they would have took the infomercials out. Salakia though.
And Iranian navies are also.
Hi, is this Charles?
Salakia for this, man.
Hey, Charles.
Of training together on the Caspian Sea. While Azerbaijan and Iran maintain cordial relations, there is a lot of tension between the two countries below the surface. There is little doubt that Russia is using Camp CAS 2020 to send a message to Azerbaijan. Also in the South Caucasus, Russia is conducting part of Camp CAS 2020 in the occupied regions of Georgia. In 2008, Russia invaded and has since illegally occupied 20% of Georgia's territory, to include the regions of Abkhazia and South Ossetia. The cover story for the 2008 Russian invasion of Georgia was a large-scale military exercise in the North Caucasus. Understandably, Georgians are nervous of any large-scale Russian exercise in their backyard.
Hey, what we see is this just a preparing to take down Babylon the Great. Jeremiah 15:29. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about, let none thereof escape, recompense her according to her works, according to all that she hath done unto her, for she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh. Because when you go back to Habakkuk, chapter 2, and verse 16, it say, Habakkuk 2:15, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Thou art filled with shameful glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. That's why the Lord say in Jeremiah 49:10, he made Esau bare. It say, the cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. So it said, what he made the nations, they drunk of the wine, man. Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So these nations is pissed off, man. Gotta read this, Obadiah 1:7. Because they pissed off, man. All the men of thy confederacy, which you can read that in Psalm 83, have brought thee even to the border. Or you can read in Jeremiah 25. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. So what you see going on is these nations is preparing for World War III, man. That's what's going on. They're preparing for World War III. To do what? To make Babylon the Great desolate and naked and burnt with fire, as it say in Revelation. Revelation 17:16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Why? Because they have drunken of the wine, man. They have drunken of Babylon the Great's philosophy, policies, legislation, democracies, they draconian laws, man. Putting sanctions on them, man. They tired of it, man. Okay? These nations is tired of it, man. Like I always quote, I'm gonna read it. This is Daniel 2:43. It say, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seeds of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with miry clay, man. You see? Hey, the Lord is showing us he's about to destroy these nations, as verse 44 say. And in the days of these kings, what kings? EU and NATO and the harlot that's joined together. And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom, which is going to be the kingdom of heaven on earth, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever, man. And we see what's going on, man. The Lord is destroying these kingdoms of the heathens, man. As it say right here, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 16. The Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Abishai, overthrew countries of the heathen. This is a future prophecy, man. And destroyed them to the foundation of the earth, man. The Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Abishai, Ecclesiastes 10 and 16. The Lord overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundation of the earth, man. That's what Revelation 19 is about, man. Let's read this. Revelation 19 and verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. His eyes was as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. So, on his head was many crowns. What did it just say in Daniel chapter 2 verse 44? He's going to take down the nations, man. These other kingdoms. This is prophecy, man. And it's playing out every day. And I just want to show that, man. Because going back to this, hey, man, what is those, man? Those are intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. And Russia said, when you go back to the video that I did, Russia has over 7,000, man. 7,000 and something. Then they said America had like 5,000 and something. Then you had China. Then you had North Korea. Then you had Turkey and India. Listen, man, Russia has the most missiles on the planet, man. That's prophecy, man. That's prophecy. This is Isaiah 54 and 16. It reads, Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and bringeth forth an instrument for his works. And I have created the waster to destroy. What's a waster? An intercontinental ballistic missile, man. This is Isaiah 9 and 5. For every battle the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. What is the this that should be with burning and fuel of fire? Well, let's read it. Revelation chapter 9, verse 12 reads, One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. What's the third woe? Destruction, man. Destruction. World War III, man. War. And what is it going to be fought with? The weapons of the Lord's armory, man. We see it right there. Intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. Okay? I'm going to read what Joel said. This is Joel 2 and verse 4. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of a fire that devoured the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pain, all faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his way, and they shall not break their ranks. This is talking about intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. When you go to is it Job 21? Let's see. Is it Job 20? Right here. This is Job chapter 20 and verse 24. It say, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. What is drawn and cometh out of the body? It's talking about the missiles coming out of those silos, man. It say, it is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yeah, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in his secret place. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. Right? So when you go up, it say, right here, Job 20 and 23. When he is about to fill his belly, it say, God shall cast fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall rain it upon him while he is eating. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yet a glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. That's talking about the intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. Hey, so Lord was edifying. Got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rikak Wadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who well, who teach well. And a sincere salutation to all the ark and pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Ark who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. Lord wills edifying. Till next time, I say Shalom, wa abba.